Welcome everyone to the Hot Slice. I am creative director Josh Count. Along with me, Denise Greer.
Hello.
Today we got on the show a good friend of ours. We enjoy seeing her at Expo whenever we're there. Um, she's been on checking in before, and she brings so much energy to the
Full of
podcast.
energy.
Anytime you're around her, Miss Melissa Rickman from Holy Stromboli in Fort Lupton, Colorado.
Yeah, Fort Lupton, Colorado.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. And she has a destination pizzeria. So I think that's great that people travel to get there. She's definitely dealt with challenges in the last year, but she's been able to rise up and stay pretty steady and always push her business forward. So I think it's a great conversation with Melissa.
Yeah, it's good to hear, all we've been doing this year, everybody's been doing is solving the problems
Hmm.
having to find ways to solve these problems. And, she lets us in on some of the problems she's had and how she solved them. And, hopefully you can take a little bit from that, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Melissa's always a good resource for information. I mean, she's been a speaker at Pizza Expo, and she has a way of being able to present information and really help out other operators. And that's really evident with Pizza Expo and the new Pizza Expo 365.
Oh, that's a good transition. I was going to go with,
Oh,
speaking of source of information, but you nailed it. You good.
I had to
Good.
go there. Yes.
Yes, Pizza Expo 365 has launched officially, and so far so good. We're looking really good. I mean, I think we've had a couple thousand in there already. People
Yeah.
take down
Yeah.
the information, look at the exhibitors. Exhibitors are signing up every day. It's just
Yeah.
everybody should know if you go there, and exhibitors are signing up every day, and it's just getting their booths ready and
Yeah.
getting them live. So every time you come back to the site, you're probably going to see a new exhibitor
Yeah.
pop up. So
And
yeah, yeah, bear with us on that.
exactly.
It's not a 2-day event. It's not a 2-day show. It's something that's going to be here for a while. So
Yeah.
when you come back next week, it's going to have more content and um, more exhibitors for you.
Yeah. And we're definitely going to keep rolling out the really good video content, the seminars that we're just going to keep rolling with new seminars each month. So you can always come back and you're always going to find something new. But with freaking 50 hours
Yeah.
or 50 hours of content, I don't think you'll be bored in there at any time soon.
I mean,
Um,
Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, and then 50 hours of Pizza Expo. I think you're going to be plenty entertained.
yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of content out there for you. So
Yeah, speaking of entertained, I always think of the World Pizza Games, and we were getting ready for Pizza Expo,
yeah,
and big things are happening. We're getting ready to launch registration, which is huge.
February
Uh,
2nd, registration for Pizza Expo 2021. Get
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I will tell you, if you are a competitor and you're wanting to compete in Pizza Expo, you're going to want to sign up immediately, not wait, because those fields the categories are going to close really quickly.
Yeah, it's going to be like trying to get a PS5 to get into one of those competitions. So be on it fast. Yeah, and it's going to be the summer of Pizza Expo, so it's going to be June 22nd through 24th.
Yeah.
I'm excited to go out there in the summer. I'm just excited to leave my house playing. Well, I could be going anywhere, but I'm
Uh,
really excited to go to Las Vegas in the summer. It is, it's usually triple digits, but that's okay. That's what we got really air conditioned convention centers for.
we have air conditioning and there's pools. I mean, every hotel has at least 3 or 4 pools,
Yes.
so you're set. And they all have swim up bars, so you're fine. Uh,
Yeah.
so, I right now we're sitting in January, so I am really looking forward to the warm weather. So I'll take it any day.
Yeah. Yeah. To get to this point in January, you're just like, oh, please, please.
Yeah.
Even though it's getting like it's staying daylight 5 minutes later than it normally does. And so that's the hope I have right now.
Yeah, and that's something we talked about with Melissa too. It's like we're getting into that, oh my gosh, time of year where you're just, oh, it's January. We just want spring to come. And the past year has felt like, 10 years. So
Yeah, 2020 was a long winter. It was just
yeah.
just one winter. That's all it was. So,
Yeah.
we were stuck at home. So, everybody's kind of seeing that light at the end of the tunnel right now, hopefully, and and there's hope there. So anyway, without any further ado, let's unless you got anything else, Denise.
No, let's just hop right into Melissa Rickman.
Talk to Melissa Rickman.
Sweet.
Performance Food Service is proud to deliver high-quality products, innovative technology, and custom operational solutions to restaurants of all sizes across the country. The flagship division of Performance Food Group, with deep roots in the restaurant industry, Performance Food Service has been the exclusive distributor of the Roma family of brands for more than 65 years. This signature relationship has allowed Performance Food Service to become a leader in the pizza and Italian segment of food service nationwide. If you're looking for a POS provider that truly understands pizzerias, look no further than PDQ. Designed from the ground up for the exact needs of pizzerias, PDQ POS has been doing pizza ordering, delivery, and takeout for over 32 years. With all the functionality you need in today's environment, including online ordering, rewards, seamless integration, contactless functionality, and so much more, PDQ is your single source for, well, everything. Learn more today at pdqpos.com or call 877-968-6430. That's 877-968-6430.
Welcome to the show, Melissa. It's great to have you. Well, we've had you on Checking In before, so now this is your first appearance on the Hot Slice, and we are very happy to have you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I appreciate it.
We miss your energy, not being able to be at Expo and Pizza and Pasta Northeast. We miss your energy, so we got to get it somehow. So
thank you. Exactly. I appreciate that. I miss you guys too. Miss the camaraderie and everything about it, right?
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be there soon. We'll be there soon, hopefully.
And yes. I think that checking in we did with you, that was a long time ago. It feels like that was so how many months ago, but it feels like
a year. Did you ever think like a year from then we'd still be talking about this? I didn't.
I was hoping not, but here we are.
Yeah.
So, sure. Just real quick, let's catch people up on how you guys are doing right now. What's the status?
The status is we're doing okay. It's not fantastic by any means. We did get a little PPP money last year, and we'll get another round of it this year, which really helped. After we were able to reopen our dining room, we were going gangbusters. We were like stupid amounts over the year before in sales, like 20% over the year before. So sales were through the roof. People were just loving us and we were loving them. And then they shut us down again. And that really kind of put the nail in the coffin for last year. But we're still hanging in there. We've built a strong business. We have savings. And so it was meant for expansion, but, we'll use it to get through this rough time.
Yeah. Have you guys been able to, kind of plan and look forward right now? Are you able to do that right now? Or are you kind of just, let's wait and see?
Yes, I am always planning. I think as an entrepreneur, you always have to plan. That might get foiled, right? And you may have to pivot. I'm really sick of that word because I think I use it like 85 times a week. Okay, we have to pivot. We
We use it in every podcast. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But I think that you do have to make plans. For me personally, like if I'm not planning and if I'm not looking into the future, I feel very stagnant and my creativity is stunted. And that's, I think, for me, I'm the creative half of the equation. And I always need to be looking where we could be going, even if that has to change.
So what's on the horizon for you? What are you envisioning right now with Holy Stromboli?
Let's go summer 2021. What would be your outlook there?
Okay, so I think first things first for us, Colorado continues to close us for indoor dining. Unfortunately, without any science to back it up. So I'm not really sure why. So our next step is to build a covered patio. We have one that's uncovered right now, which is in Colorado. If you've ever been here, it's like rain today, 80 tomorrow, and it makes it really difficult to use our patio. So we're going to move it around to the front side of the building, cover it, vinyl walls, that kind of thing, and make it an all-weather patio. So if this happens again, we do have some outdoor space that we can really utilize during the winter months.
What kind of investment goes into that sort of thing? Like, what kind of financial investment do you have to put towards that kind of endeavor?
Our estimations are about $40,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
It's a lot.
It could pay off very much so
Yeah.
if this thing is extended longer. So
It would have, right? If we had had it, it would have this last 2-month close down for sure. It would have paid for itself. Yeah. We decided not to do any tents. I'm not going to waste money on a tent that either I had to find somewhere to store or that I'm just, wasting money when, I mean, we have days here that are 5 degrees. I'm not sitting in a tent. Sorry. Yeah. So we were just going to start with the patio expansion, and we talked about it as a leadership team, and we decided that we needed the capacity. Right now we're at 25%. So if I had a larger restaurant, that would obviously be more of 25%, right? And we own our whole building. So we've been putting off expansion because of COVID, and we just decided this is our year. We're just going to take the bull by the horns and stop sitting around and taking it, and we're going to do something about it. So that's where we're at.
Yeah. Are you guys going to do that yourselves, or are you going to bring in the experts? How are you going to attack it?
It's probably a multifaceted approach, if I'm being honest, right? We'll do some of the work. We'll hire, of course, plumbing and electrical out because you have to, framing. But like the decor is on me. That's one of my strengths. Interior designing the kitchen and the bar, my GM and I will do it. He's got experience with that. And so, we'll save some pennies there. I tried to hire a kitchen designer, and I was just flabbergasted at what they charge. I mean, they're good at what they do, but I was like, well, that's not in the budget. Yeah.
Well, also, your kitchen and your staff more than anybody does. So you know what kind of kitchen you need and, what you need for that. So,
yeah.
Well, yeah. And I'll tell you, my GM, he's a genius, because he came in a year ago. He's like, who designed this kitchen? I'm like, I did like 10 years ago. And he was like, can I move it around? And I was like, please do. Because I think sometimes, going off on a tangent, sometimes you have been in your space for so long, you can't imagine it any other way, right? And your business grows year over year, and you're like, this doesn't work. But I mean, where are you going to move stuff? And it was really nice to have that fresh perspective. He's like, oh, no, this is what we're going to do. And it was amazing. It was a game changer.
Yeah, fresh new set of eyes, is always important, especially when you've been in the business a long time.
Yeah. Absolutely. And to have somebody within your organization helping you to reorganize, because when somebody comes in from the outside, they may actually mess up your entire flow. And then when you're trying to push pizzas out, the delay is just insane.
Oh, yeah. Well, I used to really stay away from pizzas because we really didn't have a designated area for them. And so it was like, oh, crap, we have a pizza. We have to stop all these Strombolis and make a pizza. And our GM was like, we're going to change this. And it's amazing now. Now it's like, okay, we got a 20-inch pizza. It's not a big deal. The flow is really amazing. It's great. I love it.
What's your changing topics a little bit, like as far as Strombolis and pizzas go, how does that break out sales-wise?
COVID changed that, honestly. So, out of sales across the board, saute, dough side, pizzas were not even 5% of sales. Wow. We just didn't do a lot. So now they're about 20% of sales. So it's really increased a whole lot. Yeah, it's good.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty big jump.
Well, because, I think people equate pizzas with takeout, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
are you guys not doing delivery still?
No, we don't. Okay. And I still don't deal with the third party guys.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. So we had 20% increase with no delivery, no third party sales. There's one lady in town. She's a local delivery service, and she only I don't know how she does it. She only charges like $4 to the customer, not me. And she'll deliver, but yeah, that's it.
That's it. Wow. Now I know we had talked about some of the menu changes that you had instituted with COVID. Now you're back to 25%. Have you been able to bring some of that back, or are they everything's just gone from that limiting your menu?
This is such a topic at our restaurant between GM Nathan and I, because he wants to whack my menu in half, right? And I'm like, no, you can't do that. The things that we got rid of the first shutdown stayed gone. So like we had a carbonara. We didn't bring that back.
Travel's
so there was
bad.
Yeah, bad. So there were about I think 12 items that we took off the menu, and that kept him quiet for a while, before he started yapping about chopping down my menu again. This time that we closed down, he's like, we're not taking anything off the menu, boss. We're going to ride with the current menu. That being said, it's time for a new menu rollout, and he's wanting to take some more things off, rightfully so. There was some things that we didn't price appropriately in the beginning. When we first opened, like 24-inch Strombolis that continue to bite us in the tush. And you can only raise the price so much. And there's some of them that really need to be priced about 25% higher than they are. So they're just going to come off the menu. Because I think, is it more insulting to the guest if you like jack the price up really high, or if you just get rid of it? Yeah. And so I think we're going to take it away. So it's, it's a constant game, and it's so different now than it ever was. But I think if I was talking to somebody who is just now opening their pizzeria, really get yourself an accounting software that can help you price things appropriately so that you're not playing this game, 10 years later, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you're really good at the numbers game. Like you guys have it down to, each item, how much of that is going into the cost, and your food cost. Has changing your menu around impacted your food costs quite dramatically, or has it stayed pretty consistent?
My food cost is gorgeous. Yeah. So I have two members, guys. I'm blessed to have Eric and Nath, my GM, and they are both on the same page. Honestly, the accounting software that we purchased, which we love, really helps us dial in our purchases. Nath is very conservative with his purchasing, and cutting down the menu made a big difference. Those items that we took off the menu really, it's not like we're not buying certain items. I mean, like chicken wings, of course, that was a game changer, and people are still pissed, but whatever. Like, I'm sorry. But yes, cutting down the menu definitely helped with food cost. And then this accounting package that we're using is a game changer. I mean, you can guess about a lot of things, and you can put paper to pencil, but when you have like real-time data, there's nothing that beats it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So how's the staffing situation right now? I know, like I said, you opened back up and through the summer, we're doing gangbusters, but where are you guys at right now?
Yeah. So right now, I try to remember, this is the time of year where everyone's like licking their wounds from Christmas, right? Everyone's kind of spent a lot of money and they're kind of being careful. We have this election, and now we have a new president. I think there's some pucker factor there. So I think everybody's being super conservative of what they're spending. We're about where we were last year in sales this time of year. So it's about typical. I think we're a little more trepidatious because of everything that's going on, hoping, oh gosh, I want to continue that trend of being 20% over last year. But also, I think part of it, there's a psychology behind it. The guests say, well, they're only at 25%. I don't want to have to wait. Mm-hmm. And so I think people are being cautious about that, right? So I think that it'll pick back up. I don't know when we're going to get above 25% here at all. I have no idea. So, we're doing different things to combat that. We opened up our speakeasy for dinner service on Friday and Saturday night, and that's going well. Yeah.
And your employee, what kind of percentage are you with? Are you fully staffed, or are you kind of still always seeking new staff members, or how's it going?
We're always hiring rock stars. Yes. We are looking for help. We haven't lost anybody from before COVID. We really have our dream team. I would tell you, if anything positive came out of COVID, like other than our new POS and some changes that we made to the building, we acquired amazing people from other restaurants that didn't survive. And I have worked 10 years to find the crew that we have. So we're looking for about 3 or 4 people just to keep up with the ramp up in business that I know is going to happen here soon.
Yeah. Wow. Now I have to compliment you, because I saw your latest Facebook video, which you hadn't been doing a lot of them lately, but you were talking about your Bully Bits learning center. That's amazing. I have not heard of people doing this, and you got to share what you did for your people, because I think that's so cool.
Oh, thank you. Well, a couple of our employees came to us and said our kids are on remote learning, and most daycare providers won't provide any tutoring or assistance for remote learning. It's not what they do. The ones that do are very expensive. They're like $500-$600 a week.
Yeah.
And so I said to Eric, my husband, and our GM, I said, we got to help them out. Like, we really have to help them out. What can we do? So we've got this young lady that works for us, Max. She's one of our hosts, and she's one of those like super smart 4-H kids, overachiever kind of, she's just great. And I said, she's sick of being at home on remote learning. So why don't we see if she wants to proctor a Bully Bits remote learning academy. And we have this empty space that we're not using right now. And they were down. So what we did was, we have an employee assistance fund that we put together for cases like this. So we just use that money to pay half of her tuition. The parents pay the other half. And she just proctors the class. And like you saw my video yesterday, I hadn't been in there in a little bit. And I was like, wow, she just really made it like a classroom and really ran with it. They had a little nap spot, and we just, we fed them lunch. Moms would bring lunch over, and it was, even though it was like the suckiest of sucky situations for moms, it really did give them an opportunity to like maybe see their kids during the day when they couldn't. They got to bring over lunch. And is it the best learning medium? No, it's not. But I think I looked at the whole situation. I thought, this is a part of our history, that we'll remember for a long time. And one of the kids said, well, I really liked it. I really don't want it to stop, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But, you take care of your team because they take care of you. And definitely we'd be in a hard spot without them. And I think Eric and I are super blessed that our kids are all grown and out of the house. And I don't know how you navigate that without any help. I just don't.
Yeah. Now you're so accustomed to doing those types of things for your employees. You really look out for your team. What are some things that you do, or that you would kind of suggest other pizzerias do to keep those rock stars? You said you have one of the best staffs right now. And so, what are those things that you do to kind of keep them engaged?
Well, for instance, I have a dishwasher who can't find an apartment. The housing market here is very tight. She doesn't have a car, so she lives in a hotel by the day to the tune of $60 a day. Do the math. That's crazy. Yeah. So it's pay for a day of her hotel. Just pay for a day. It's $60. It's not going to kill you. And at the end of the day, what that means to her is unbelievable. Now, she won't take a handout. So I'm like, you remember the other day when you cleaned out the whole walk-in? There you go, because that's the only way she'll take it. Right. But things like that. What I did with my team on Monday is I took all the women together and we did a vision board workshop here at my house. And thanks. Yeah, it was a good time. And I'm like, even if it's okay to say that, I don't want to work at Holy Stromboli forever. If you want to be a rocket scientist, put it on there, but think big and think about the things that you want to accomplish. Because if we just look at our lives at the daily grind, and like I go to Holy Stromboli and I wait tables, you can get burnt out. But if I can encourage them to look at the future and see what they can accomplish through their job or their career at Holy Stromboli, or, even if it's just a stepping stone, let's look to the future. Let's look at the big picture versus like the daily grind of life right now. So we do things like that.
And that's a brilliant way to get, to know what they want and to like see their interest and to really get a good gauge on them. So yeah, that's a brilliant way to do that.
Yeah. Well, and the unintended consequence is I got to see each of their personalities come out in their vision board, whether they're like very like a pre-planner or like completely unorganized, or it was really cool. I was like, this is really beneficial. I should do this all the time.
That should be the first thing you do when you hire an employee. Let's make a vision board together, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Now, I think a couple years ago, you did a session on common pizzeria startup mistakes.
Yeah.
And I would love to touch on that really quickly. Maybe that's actually what we can probably go out on. But because you are so knowledgeable about those mistakes and how to help people get past them. So what's probably kind of the most common mistakes and how you've helped kind of walk them through getting out of it.
Spend the money. Don't be cheap. Like, I know that we have like a small budget to work with when we're opening our pizzerias, and we're like, oh God, FRP is $35 a sheet. So I'm only going to put it where the health department tells me to. It's like, don't do that, because then you're going to find yourself at like 2:00 in the morning hanging FRP while the restaurant's closed because your walls look like hell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't cheap out on things that you think are expensive. Really make those decisions wisely. Like a POS, we went back and forth as to whether or not to get a POS. And you talk to all kinds of people, because in this industry, pizzeria owners are so amazingly generous with their knowledge. Like, you walk into a pizzeria and you're like, hey, I'm going to open a pizzeria. They're like, oh, come back, check out my oven and this and that, right? And so like half the camp was like, you don't need a POS. This is a small place. And the other half is like, don't do it without one. And so when we looked at the big guys, they were so expensive. You really don't know how much money you're going to be making, what your sales are going to be. You could project it, but it doesn't mean anything. It's completely random. And so we went on the less expensive side, which was horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah.
We lost so much money in all of the issues that were there. And so I think for us, the common theme was spend the money on FRP, on the POS, on those things that you want to have to go back and fix later. Because, 10 years later, switching to a new POS was really hard. I mean, we wanted to do it for a long time, but you guys know it's like open heart surgery. And especially when you're numbers driven, when Eric was really reluctant to let go of his historical data. And so we spent a lot of time importing our historical data to our new POS, which paid off, but it was a lot of work. So I just think don't cheap out on those things.
Yeah, that's perfect. And we see that all the time. People get into a situation where they want to open up and they're like, well, I'm just going to do it shoestring. I'm going to bootstrap everything. And then it comes out and they're like, oh, wow, I need so much more. So they end up having to spend a lot more in that first year than they would have normally if they would have done it from the start, from before they open.
100% true. Yes.
Wow.
Well, Melissa, bringing all the energy again, like
Yay.
we know you can. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Hot Slice, and hopefully we'll be seeing you in June at Pizza Expo.
Oh my God, crossing all my fingers.
Yes, we are too. We can't wait. Can't wait for Expo. All right, well, take care, and we wish you the best of luck, and hopefully you get all opened back up 100% again soon.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for having me, and stay safe.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.